Hello everyone, LD3 back with you for another video. Today we are back in the Golf Club 2, and we are back at TPC Scottsdale. Now, this is a different TPC Scottsdale recreation. So this week it is the Waste Management Phoenix Open, so I wanted to play Scottsdale, but I didn't want to play the same course that I did, like, what was it, a couple weeks ago? Like 3 weeks, maybe like 3 or 4 weeks ago, so I wanted to do something different, and I was looking it up on the Golf Club 2, and I saw that there was a 2004 recreation, which I actually thought was pretty interesting, mostly because the TPC Scottsdale did do a lot of renovations over the past few years. I think it was like 2013 or 14 they did the renovations. So this course is not significantly different, but a little different than the last course I played. I'm going to see if I can pick up on some of the iterations here and there. Like, the first hole is a little different because this hole has, like, two different sections. Like, they have the fairway and then the little approach area and the green. So that one's a little different, so you can kind of see it that way. And that was an absolutely atrocious putt. The thing is, too, I did practice before this round, so I'm not sure why I had such atrocious putting. It seems like the greens are a lot faster than the course I played for my practice round. I can definitely see that, and that is going to be a bogey to start out this round. That's a little disappointing, but yeah. Kind of wanted to talk about, I honestly just want to spend my time for this episode talking about what happened last week on the tour, because it's sort of like what has been happening the past few weeks. We're going to start by congratulating Jason Day on his win at the Farmers Insurance Open in a 6-hole playoff, which is kind of playoffs are kind of what I want to get into. But he won a 6-hole playoff against two other people. I believe Alex Noren was one. I think maybe Ryan Palmer was the second one. Don't quote me on that, but I think those were the other two people. I know Alex Noren was like the last guy to stay with Jason Day in the playoff, and they actually had to go into Monday morning to finish the playoff because of darkness. So again, very interesting stuff going on the tour where they have to go to Monday playoffs to finish things off because of either darkness or just not getting in enough time in the day to actually finish it off, which kind of surprises me, too, because they were on the West Coast, right? So say the round should end around 6 Eastern time. You should finish the round, so that would be about 3 o'clock Pacific time. 3 o'clock Pacific time, they should end their round. Sunset in San Diego-ish area, California, probably should be around 4:30 to 5 o'clock. You could probably play till about 5 o'clock. That gives you 2 hours. Even in a playoff scenario like what was going on in the tournament, I could definitely be like, okay, you could probably get 6 holes in. And I think they only got like 2 or 3 holes done, too, which I'm kind of surprised about. But honestly, it's not that. I'm honestly pretty surprised that they couldn't finish it off yesterday. But you know what? I saw the USGA's actually Twitter page, and they're like, did somebody say Monday playoff? And they had a GIF of Tiger and Rocco Mediate, because in the 2008 U.S. Open played at Torrey Pines, they had a Monday playoff. That one was 18 holes. This one was 6 holes, so a little different. But still, Monday playoffs, pretty interesting. And that was a really good bunker shot, actually, if that sits. If that sits, are you kidding me? Stop rolling, please. Stop rolling, thank you. That literally checked like 5 feet before the hole and then rolled out all the way. That just shows you that this is on a bad spot. The hole is on a bad spot. Honestly, because if it actually rolls, like, this is going to roll back past the hole. I could play it past the hole and have it roll back into the hole if I really wanted to. Like, that is a terrible spot for a hole. That is a terrible spot for a hole. The person who created this, please change your pin sets so that it's a little different, because that is an absolutely atrocious spot for a hole. But in either case, I think that's another bogey. And it is. Yikes. TPC Scottsdale 2004, harder than Scottsdale in 2017-18. I still thought it was 2017 there for a second. Don't ask me why. Don't ask me why I thought that, but I literally just said 2017 with the thought that, hey, it's still 2017. It is 2018, folks. I know I'm probably a whole month behind by now, but yeah, it's 2018. Happy 2018. But, okay, that's not a terrible shot. It's actually kind of bad. It's in the rough now. It went over the green, but it landed on the green. I will take that. Let's chip it up. And now it checks. Oh, man. Oh, that's kind of upsetting. That is actually very, very upsetting. But there's a par, I guess. I'll take a par, but not a good start. Not a good start. 2 over through 4 holes, and the 2 easier holes, a par 5 and a shortish par 4, are the ones I get bogeys on too. So that makes it even more upsetting, and that's going to be another terrible drive. And like I say, whenever I drive the ball well in this game, it usually turns out good. Oh, what a bounce. What a bounce. I don't know why I'm fist pumping, but I'm happy with the bounce. Happy with the bounce there. Let me just get this shot up. I'm going to go for 182 because it seems like the greens are a little firm too. So if I go a club down, it should land a little short and then roll up. That should be not bad. Where's this going to finish? It's going to be a little past pin high. I'm perfectly fine with that. But yeah, I also want to talk about Tiger Woods. This was his first official PGA Tour event in the 2017-18 season. He finishes in the top 25. I think the final mark was tied for 23rd. Ooh, lip out. Lip out. Actually, I'm going to check my handy-dandy phone here. Make sure that I do know what I'm talking about. Yep, he finished tied for 23rd. As you can see right there, tied for 23rd at 3 under par. Very good effort, I'm going to say. Top 25 for his first event back on tour. I will absolutely take it. Like, that's... Like, if someone told me that you could... like, if that Tiger was going to finish in the top 25 in his first tour event back, and the fact that he was, like hasn't played Torrey Pines, or he hasn't played Torrey Pines well, basically, in the last 5 years. That's his first made cut in the last 5 years at Torrey Pines. Like, I would absolutely be like, I wouldn't say you're crazy, but, like, I don't think that's going to happen. Like, even with how he played in the Bahamas, he didn't play great, but he played pretty well for his first time back, and then having a few weeks to recover and stuff like that. I still wouldn't think top 25. Like, I expected him to make the cut because he knows Torrey Pines well, but I was thinking gonna be like the first group off on Sunday. Ooh, that's a little upsetting. But yeah, first group off on Sunday, or like one of the last groups off, or one of the first groups off, and being like a top 50 finish. Like, I would be okay with a top 50 finish from Tiger, but top 25 in his first event back. Will absolutely accept that. That's a great result for him to start out this year. And if he's going to play a lot more, I think he's going to be playing Riviera. I'm not sure where else he's playing, but he should play fairly well. Wow, that is rolling. That is rolling on a river right now. Wow. But that's a 212-yard shot from a 182 carry club. I don't understand that, but in either case, we're just going to chip it up, and we are going to roll it there. That's not the best chip, but we are going to putt it in. Nice. Nice. I will absolutely take that par putt. Just like my character is fist pumping, I will fist pump that par putt. And just like Tiger probably fist pumped. I'm going to apologize because I didn't actually watch a lot of the tournament this weekend. I had a lot of other stuff going on, but I didn't watch the tournament, but I was following Tiger. I was using the PGA Tour app, which I was showing you before, and I was following him, making sure he was doing well. Like, he started even par on the south course, and then 1 under on the north course for his Thursday Friday rounds. That's honestly kind of where I thought he would be. I didn't expect him to do that great, but and when you think about it, 3 under was kind of around where I thought he would end up. Like, what was the final winning total? 10 under par. Okay, so 10 under par won the tournament. So when you think about it, 10 under par isn't that... that's a pretty high score for a winning PGA Tour event. So 3 under in the top 25 makes sense, but I didn't think 3 under was going to be in a top 25 score. I thought 3 under would probably be top 40. That, in my opinion, but... So I guess Torrey Pines was playing a little harder this year. Torrey Pines is usually a pretty hard course, but usually they don't play that low. Like, the only time I remember it playing that low was the year with the super high winds, and I think either Brandt Snedeker or John Rahm. I think it was last year where John Rahm won. but that was because another poor putting today. But it was when John Rahm won, and or was it Brandt Snedeker? I don't remember, but it might have been 2 years ago with Brandt Snedeker, where I think the final winning score was like 6 under. But going into the final round, the leaders were at 9 under. But because of how bad Sunday it was playing, like Brandt Snedeker posted a score at like 6 under. I think he went like 1 under on the day and went from 5 under to 6 under or something like that. And there were a bunch of people ahead of him, and everyone fell back. And I think Snedeker won by like 2 shots or something like that. Kind of like the 2013 U.S. Open where Phil Mickelson was down by 5, I think, to start the day and finished winning by 3, even though he finished at 3 under par. He like started at 2 over, went to 3 under, but like the leaders started at 3 and everyone dropped back to at least even par after that. Something like that. That's really the last time I remember a tour event being that low, or at least Torrey Pines being that low. Usually they're in the 12 to 13 under range, usually, I think. From what I remember, at least. That's kind of where I remember Torrey being. So I guess they made it a little harder. They are hosting the U.S. Open again, I think, in 3 years? 2 or 3 years. I think 2020 or 2021 they're hosting the U.S. Open again. So I guess they're trying to get it to U.S. Open standards a little early, or like making the course a little more ready for the U.S. Open, even though it played very well for U.S. Open. The final score was even par when they went last time. But yeah, honestly, for Tiger, kind of, I would say the finish is higher than I expected, but the score was right around where I expected. 3 under seems about right. A little less than 1 under par per round. Again, very, very, I would absolutely take that for Tiger. It just shows that he's coming back slowly but surely. He's looking good. He's looking pretty good, finishing under par at an event such as Torrey's event. Like, I will absolutely take that. That's not a bad result whatsoever, and that just shows he still has a lot more to improve too. That just shows he has so much more to improve, and honestly, he could win a major this year. Seeing if he's improving at the rate he's improving, he could absolutely win a major this year. I'm not sure which major, but I honestly think he could. That's probably an absolutely horrific pitch. It's not the worst. It's not the worst. I honestly thought that was going to be 10 yards over and like roll out over to the other side of the green, but it's a couple yards short, about 10 feet. 8 feet to be exact. It's a tough putt, but it's certainly a makeable one. Can I do it? No, I loop out. I miss a little high. It loops around the hole. I almost said the net. I'm still thinking soccer for some reason, but yeah, there is a bogey. 4 over. Yikes! This is not turning into a good round. We're actually coming up on one of the holes. The 13th hole was one of the major improvements they made during the renovation, so I'll talk about that. But yeah, good job by Tiger. I'm happy for him. Hopefully he will improve. I'm almost positive he will improve. His back seems to be fully fit. His entire body seems to be pretty healthy at this point, so hopefully that means he can continue to just work on his game and not worry about his health that much, and then get better that way. Can this be a good shot? No, it's going to be way short. Please kick up a little bit. That would be nice. Nope, it's a little bit of an elevated green, so it's just going to sit right there. Not great. Not great at all. And then this chip is going to be absolutely atrocious and might not even stay on the green. Come on. Oh boy. I'm just happy that didn't go in the bunker. Actually, I probably would have rather gotten it in the bunker because, as you can see, my bunker game is not terrible. But that chip wasn't terrible either. Well, it would have been terrible if it didn't hit the flag, but it is a bogey, another bogey. I'm at 5 over par. That's what happens when you don't play. I did play a practice round, but of course I probably played it on pretty easy settings, and I didn't actually I did okay, to be honest with you, but not great, and now it's probably showing here. Or I'm just not getting used to the firm conditions of TPC Scottsdale. That's probably it, mostly. Just not getting used to the firm conditions and not playing the firm conditions well. But in either case, sit nice. All right, I will take that chip. I will absolutely take that chip. Let's get here. And I will talk about playoffs on the PGA Tour in a sec. I do want to talk about the 13th hole. first make sure I get that out of the way. Let's see if they actually show this right. Can this... Yeah, it's not the best interpretation, but it kind of shows it. The split fairway. Because on the 13th hole at TPC Scottsdale, they used to have a split fairway where you could go left and basically play it as a three-shotter, or go right, be a little aggressive with a little narrow fairway in between two sand pits, and actually try to go for two that way. I don't know why I hit my hybrid there, by the way. They had that as the default club, and I don't know why I wanted to hit the driver, but I just swung, and then as soon as I swung, I was just like, oh, that was the hybrid and not the driver. Let's see, if I hit that another 50 yards... No, I probably still wouldn't have made the green, but yeah, I probably wouldn't have made the green, but I would have been a lot closer than I am now. I can say that. Let's just chip it up there. It's probably not going to be that good. Actually, that's going to be very good. Sit, sit, sit. Oh, it's rolling. Usually the gap wedge chips or checks. That certainly did not check. That just kept rolling. And now I got a 30-footer for birdie. Not what I had in mind at all. But that's actually going to be a good putt. Get in! Ooh! Ooh, that was a pretty good putt. Now it's got to stay. Stay there. Thank you. Thank you for staying. But it's a par. Honestly, a par is like a birdie today because I'm not playing that great. So that is perfectly fine. But yeah. Talking about playoffs, I think the last three events have all come down in the playoffs. We got the Sony Open Career Builder Challenge and the, what was the last one? The Farmers Insurance Open. Okay, the 14th hole is nothing like the actual hole. Maybe it was like this in 2004, but I don't think it was like this. I think it was still the dogleg left that it usually is. But, yeah, the last three events have been playoffs, and pretty significant ones. I know the Sony Open and the Farmers Insurance were both 6-hole playoffs. I think I heard correctly that the Career Builder Challenge was a 9-hole playoff. If that's correct, like, if that's not right, let me know down in the comments, but I'm pretty sure that the Career Builder Challenge was a 9-hole playoff. So that is absolutely insane. That is a full round plus a couple extra holes more of playoff holes in the last three events combined. Like, I don't get it. Like, usually I see a playoff on a PGA Tour event once a month or so. Oh, get in. What a putt. What a putt. Yeah, that's a birdie. That is a birdie, son. Let's go. It's the first birdie of the day, and I absolutely needed it. So thank you for making that absolutely amazing putt. I appreciate that, me. Thank you very much. But, yeah, so that's... I usually see a playoff on the PGA... Or a playoff usually happens on the PGA Tour about once a month, if I remember correctly. But that's 3 straight holes. Well, in each playoff usually lasts 1 to 3. Those are probably the range of the most holes. The longest playoff I remember is either like the U.S. Open 18th hole playoff, or maybe like... There was the 5-hole playoff for Jordan Spieth's first win with David Hearn and Zach Johnson, I believe. Like at the John Deere Classic, Jordan Spieth's first win, I believe, was a 5-hole playoff. So that's where I remember like the long playoffs. I don't remember having like really long playoffs, especially in succession like this. So I'm not sure if it's a sort of new trend on the tour, if it's just a little blip like, hey, this just happened the past few weeks, whatever, let's move on. Because if it's a new trend, I'm not sure if it's going to be because the tour is just getting closer and closer together in terms of quality, and we're going to have a lot more different winners that way because of long playoffs and stuff. Or, there's another birdie, by the way, or if it's just like a few things here and there, just, oh, we're just going to have a 6-hole playoff here and 9-hole playoff there. It just happened that they all came back to back to back like that. I'm kind of hoping it's the latter where it's just a blip because not saying I don't like watching golf, but it's I wouldn't really call it saturating either, but like if there's too much of it, like it's gonna it's gonna be a little boring, to be honest with you. Like, if, like, I'm just trying to focus. Oh, is that another great putt? My putting's on fire the last 3 holes. Let's go. But yeah, like, for an event kind of like the Career Builder Challenge or the Sony Open, where not a lot of people are going to be watching it, and it's not as much hype as, say, like Riviera or Torrey Pines, or, well, Torrey Pines is, or like Pebble Beach. So courses like that, like those events, or kind of like a major. Like, a majors I know have aggregate playoffs, or most of them do anyway, but or like the Players or something like that. They don't have the same prestige as sort of those events. So if you have long playoffs, especially with people of a little less quality, I'm not going to say less quality, but like people that the fans don't know as well, people aren't really going to watch it because it's people they don't want to watch, and also, or people that they haven't watched before and they kind of want to see the big names play, or they just, like, I'm just trying to think of a good way to describe it. Like, if you give them too much, they're gonna yeah, you guys know what I'm trying to say. I think I blabble on a lot in these episodes, so I hope you guys understood what I was trying to get at there. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping, like, good competition. Competition is good, yes, but it doesn't have to be 9-hole playoffs every single, like, event. We can have a blowout here and there. We can have, oh no, I hit it in the water, didn't I? Yep, I just hit it in the water on the 18th at Scottsdale. Oopsies. But we can have a blowout here and there. I like the competition where it comes down to the last hole. Like, playoffs to just prolong the process a little bit, if that's kind of what I'm that's kind of what I'm trying to say. Like, playoffs prolong the process. Like, you have the 18th hole of the tournament is one of the most exciting, like, parts of a tournament. And if it's just like, oh, they're going to a playoff now, like, all the hype from the last hole and just comes crashing down. It's like, oh, there's just a couple people playing a couple more holes to see who's the real winner. Like, that's not how I feel playoffs are, but that's what it could be if, say, we have another 6 or 7 hole playoff, like, back to backs, like, in the stretch that we've had. Like, it can get exciting, but, like, say it goes too long and you have to actually bring it into Monday, like they did with Torrey Pines. Who knows what's going to happen. But yeah, we finished with a 74, which, again, with how I started, not bad. We had a couple birdies in the last few holes to actually drop the score. We were at 5 over at one point. But yeah, we got the Waste Management Phoenix Open this week, going straight, like, basically jumping from that event straight to the Super Bowl. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, enjoy the Waste Management Phoenix Open this week. Enjoy the tour. Hopefully there's a NADA playoff so that not a lot of people are still watching that when the big game's starting and all that stuff. We don't want to get any interference on major sporting events or anything. But yeah, that is going to do it here for me. So if you guys enjoyed the video, go ahead and drop it with a like. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to see more from me. And I will see you guys with a new video real soon. Bye.